Hey everybody, it is Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Valor points. So Valor is being brought back in patch 9.0.5, so the halfway patch between 9.1 and opening up. So if you haven't heard yet, what Valor points are a currency earned from completing Mythic Plus dungeons and from doing your callings, so like your emissaries essentially of Shadowlands. So you'll obtain these Valor points, and you'll be able to upgrade any piece of Mythic Plus gear with those Valor points up to eye level 200. Now, of course, that wouldn't be super useful for people who play the game a lot, so you can upgrade further by completing achievements. If you have completed all Mythic Plus keystones at 5 or higher, you'll be able to upgrade your gear to 207. If you've completed all Mythic Plus dungeons at 10 or higher, you'll be able to upgrade to 213, and 15 or higher all the way up to 220. This kind of coincides a bit with the way PvP gearing works with conquest points. There's also a cap per week on your Valor points, so it works in a similar way. You're basically targeting a piece and upgrading it as you see fit, and that's kind of how that works. Now, full disclosure, I had recorded a video already. Obviously, I didn't publish it, but some new information came out, and it kind of made the back half of the video not seem super relevant. And basically, I was just assuming that this Valor point was for PvE in general, but it really seems like it's very specifically tied to Mythic Plus only, and not a solution to the rating gearing issue. And the information that came out was Ion saying that he still thinks there's work to be done in the rating realm. So what that could mean is we're either going to get some rating point as well, or Valor points will be able to be used for rating gear as well, or it'll just be I think in this current climate, with the way Conquest is for PvP, Valor is for Mythic Plus Dungeon, I think it would actually make sense to have its own currency to upgrade a raid piece in the same manner that people are upgrading their PvP gear and their Mythic Plus gear. I think that would make the most sense, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen. So why isn't it out already then? In my opinion, the reason why it wouldn't be out already then is because they either haven't figured out the correct numbers to make it work, like how many raid points do you get per boss kill? Do you get raid points from anything other content? Do you have the raid points be able to scale all the way up to 226? Or do you do a 220 like the Mythic Plus? And so it could be a numbers issue. That would be my first thought. My second thought would be is that they want to eventually just tie it into the tier sets. So they've said that they're going to bring tier set bonuses back in this expansion. So maybe they will allow you to purchase and upgrade tier sets with this gear. Now, of course, it could still drop in the raid for you as well. This wouldn't be the only way to get it. But if you're really unlucky, the tier set bonuses are usually a massive throughput increase, no matter what, pretty much no matter what class or spec you play. So they're hyper important. If you're like me and have kind of bad luck getting stuff like that, it's kind of why I liked Azerite armor. Is it was easy to target it, especially once they put the vendor in. It was easy to target the things with the abilities that I wanted, and it wasn't as much RNG as tier sets were. So for me, I liked it, but a lot of people didn't. Well, if they put a system in where you can purchase tier set stuff with a certain currency, a raid currency, and then also upgrade it, that would get rid of that. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want to be able to have full tier sets really quickly. There'd be a cap on it. There'd be all this kind of stuff as well, and it would be timed out to try to just equivocate it with someone with average luck in a raid, or maybe even just slightly below average luck in a raid of getting loot. So I could see that being the other option. The third option is that they aren't going to do a third raid option of upgrading loot, in which case my previously recorded video would be actually very poignant and basically worries about the fear of raiding in the future not being viable, because if you can upgrade everything progressively through PvP and through Mythic Plus, but not through raiding, and the only way to get gear and raiding is to slowly progress through the raid, it would actually make more sense for even raiders to either put all their time into Mythic Plus, getting fully geared, then going into a raid, for non-world first, obviously, and then also for even PvP, if you're capable of PvPing at a high level, do everything PvP first, or a mix of PvP and Mythic Plus, and then go into the raid afterwards. And that's not ideal for the raiding scene, which is still a very important, huge part of the game. Even people who don't raid kind of like to watch other people raid and watch the progress of raids. So, or even casually raid themselves, very casually, whether that's just doing normal or LFR or whatever. So, you definitely want it to be a viable, vibrant part of the game, in my opinion. I think that they think that way as well. So, so overall, I love this change. So, basically, Mythic Plus is going to be closer to be on par with PvP. Right now, PvP is the best way to gear. It feels the best. Obviously, you have to be willing to have versatility on your gear, which isn't great for everybody, especially if you favor mastery. But it basically catches Mythic Plus back up to PvP gear. It's still a little bit different because of the vault differences, but PvP gear and Mythic Plus gear similar. Rating gear will still be a little bit behind, and I am hopeful though because of what Ion said about still needing something to do with rating gear. We're either going to get a gear vendor slash upgrade vendor or point system, whatever, when they get the numbers sorted out for rating, or when they end up tying it with the tier sets, similar to how they did Azrael armor, for example. Except for this wouldn't be Mythic Plus earning you the points; it would be the rating earning you the points in theory. They could, of course, just tie it in with Valor as well, but I'd like to actually just see three separate things. Some people say there's too many systems, there's too much this, there's too much that. This is a pretty simple crap here. I mean, you do PvP, you get Conquest points. You do Mythic Plus, you get Valor points. You do Raid, you get Raid points. I mean, it's not like this complex system or whatever. It's just you do the content you do, and you get points for it. And then you use those points to upgrade the content that you do, or so it's pretty simple in my opinion. There have been more convoluted systems in the past, but I don't think this would be one of them. So I'm all for it. I'm hopeful for the future that, like I said, do something with the rating, or else there could be some bad implications in the future. So I'm hopeful that they will. I'm not positive that they will, but I'm hopeful that I will. I mean, if history serves, I'm usually pretty correct. I called that this was going to happen. There's going to be a PvE vendor. I've been calling that for weeks, that it's 100% certainly going to happen, and it has. So I wouldn't be surprised if they end up tying it to the tier sets in like 9.1, because I just think I kind of, not that I know everything, just that I kind of understand how they think, and I could see them doing that. That would be very in line with their their solutions in the past. So that's what I could see happening. That's about it for this video. Excited for Valor points. Hopefully you are too. As always, I ask you to please subscribe to the channel because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody have a good one.